With rising concerns over the environmental impacts caused by fossil fuels, we've been looking towards new energy sources to provide power for the 7.53 billion people on Earth. One of those solutions? Cold fusion.
22 minutes now before 8 o'clock. Cold fusion was once the hottest new scientific discovery. 5 years ago on this broadcast, we were talking about it.
Cold fusion picked up some huge traction at the time. People were ecstatic. It was a great idea. You could create cheap energy that would be available to everyone easily. An energy that would create little to no waste and have little to no environmental impact. It sounded like the perfect solution to all our energy problems. You may be wondering, what is cold fusion? It's basically when two atoms come together to form one bigger atom and energy is released. This actually happens all the time within our sun, but it requires a lot of heat and pressure. To build something like this on Earth would be like having a mini sun on the planet. This is actually trying to be done. We're containing the heat with magnets or lasers, but this is also experimental. Cold fusion really did seem like the perfect energy source. Many of the scientists working on it claim that it would have little to no environmental waste and would cost little to the environment to produce. They talked of a world where everyone could use cold fusion to power our homes, our cars, and everything we use, while doing it cheaply and effectively. But saying things and doing things are two very different things, and a lot of these big promises made never came true. The idea of cold fusion was first a concept in the 1980s by a couple scientists named Stanley Pons and Martin Fleischmann. These two thought they had created cold fusion, but they were not detailed in the procedure, and no scientist could recreate the results. Soon after, their experiment in cold fusion were thrown out the window, and their scientific careers were over. I looked into what kind of research is still being done on cold fusion, and it appears that there is still a kind of research that looks promising called muon catalyzed fusion. This is very similar to cold fusion, the only difference being that the process involves the help of muons. I won't go super deep in depth into it as it gets kind of confusing, but it's shown that it can create energy through fusion at low temperatures. But it takes more energy to keep these muon particles going than the machine creates, so it's still a net loss of energy. But this could be effective in the future if they find out a way to lower the amount of energy needed to keep these muon particles stable the entire time. Cold fusion, if it's ever figured out, would solve the world's energy problem. It promises a cheap, expansive energy source with very low environmental impact. But sadly, at this current time, it does not appear like it will be a viable energy source for a long time.